real estate, fitness, and no bullshit real life talk.
Your 10 years, we hooked a tangent there.
10-year plan.
Yeah, like investing. You were talking about your investments and where you want to go.
So the next 5 years, I want to get three under my belt.
Okay.
Yeah, three or more.
Right.
And I think that's totally doable.
Totally.
And then from there,
think bigger.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I need to get more cash flowing.
Your first one's the hardest one. Second one gets easier, and after that, you start rolling.
Oh, dude, I would go buy one right now if I had a little bit more, money to put up. I would go do it right now.
Okay.
I'm not scared of doing it. Like, that's where my head is. I'm doing it. There's no question.
So for all you listeners, right, you don't need money to buy real estate. Period. End of story. Like all the books and the no money downs and all that stuff, it's true. But you do need some. Okay. You can get into it for zero. You really can, but it's slightly more complicated than that. But for anyone listening and for you, you don't need a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's about finding the property. If you can find the property, anything else will line up for you. So figure out how to find the property. Money will line up. Your loans will line up. Buying it will line up. Rehabbing it will line up. Your cash flow, as long as you buy it right, will line up. Everything else lines up. Obviously, it's not like poof, it's done, but just go buy your property. Go find it.
Yeah.
And then come talk to me and we'll get it done.
Okay.
But you don't need money. So get that out of your head, like right away. You do need reserves at some point. Like when you're getting bank loans and things, your banks are going to look at reserves, for you as a borrower.
Yeah.
But there's so many different ways. I mean, there's so many different ways. You can partner, you can find money people. There's a lot of different ways to do it. So don't get in if that's what's stopping you, that I don't have a lot of money, like I didn't either.
Yeah.
So
and I wouldn't be as conservative right now if I didn't make the transition from the salary to right. I need things to level out and start. I don't ever expect to be consistent, but just a little bit more consistent. That's all. Like this has all been new. So
I get it.
That's the only thing. So like I can imagine with the next 6 months to a year be good. And then from there, yeah, you're right. Think bigger. That's why 3 minimum. 3 minimum. And then as I learn more like from talking to you and my own research, I'm sure we'll be pushing that number up higher. But yeah, I that's absolutely what I'm going to be doing. 100%. That's what I'm doing. That's what's happening. You heard it here first. Hey, if anyone is interested, has any interest in investing or where your head's at in that, let us know if you learned anything from this. I'm learning right now. John has been graceful enough to tell us all this. So go ahead and let us know. A lot of people are moving in that direction. So leave a comment.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many resources out there, and there's so many people willing to help you. That don't be nervous about it. Like just in Western Mass itself, we have such a great unit of people that I know personally, and they're for everyone. Like I just know many people in the investor network around here that just help people. So like get out there and do it and find the good people out there that are going to help you.
You know what's funny, which is something and then I don't want to take up too much time on this, but this is just a kind of top off everything what we were just saying about finding good people. The more people I've been around who are successful and entrepreneurial. So growing up, especially when you're in this kind of like closed off mindset and you're used to just being around average people who aren't doing things like that. People will see the people who are doing really well for themselves, or like the guy in like the Lamborghini or something. And people say, well, he looks like a douchebag. But the more I've been around people who are hyper successful, a lot of them are extremely, they're extremely generous with their time. They're actually, a lot of them are very good people. And that's part of the reason why they are so successful, is because they're good people and people want to help them out. So it's just funny, man. It's funny kind of getting out of that headspace and yeah, it's comedic to me, right? Like, cause people will drive by, and I've had that thought when I was younger, and I love cars, right? So that's just that.
Yeah, but the real successful, wealthy person's driving the beat up pickup truck. Dude.
Yeah, they are. I know.
Like they are.
I know.
Like
dude.
they're dressed down, dude. You don't know, but you can pick them out. Like people who are wealthy, that the way that they carry themselves.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times you can know if you got this flashy Lamborghini guys. Like, I don't know. I'm not into that.
I don't know, dude.
I like nice things.
I don't know, dude. I want a Lamborghini.
But, well, yeah.
You're going to call me a douchebag if I ever get a Lamborghini?
Yeah, I will, actually. I think if you're driving a Lamborghini and you really don't have the money to afford it, you're a douchebag.
Oh, that's different. That's a different story.
Yeah,
That's a different story, though.
Totally.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, I'm paying for this and I really shouldn't be, then you're a douchebag.
Yeah, that's a different story. See, for me, I'm actually would rather, for me, having a big house isn't that important at all. It's just not to me. I like the car.
Yeah. I like your car.
That's something it makes me feel really good. You know, like, that's why I have the car I have now. Right. It goes really, really fast. It feels really, really good. And I'm in my car all the time.
Shake and bake. No.
Yeah. So it gives me a little thrill. Right. And there's obviously always an aspect of vanity to it. I mean, it'd be hard to say there isn't, but it's legitimately.
But that's
pleasure.
different if you genuinely get the pleasure out of it.
Yeah.
And you're not driving it for someone else. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I think that's different. But I think it comes down to, like, I don't know. I've bought things at a younger age. I wish I kept expenses down at a younger age. I think that's why I feel the way I feel. Mm-hmm. But there's too much going around of, like, you know, I'm buying this because I want to, like, make an impression. But if you genuinely, like, really, really like something, you should buy it. If you genuinely really like something and you're buying it for yourself, but you actually can't afford it, that's just not a good financial decision.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, so.
No, I agree with that. No, I absolutely agree with that. But I mean, there are those people out there that are just so wealthy that that's something they want. They could. It's nothing for them. But It is funny, actually, arguably probably the most successful guy I know. He drives pieces of shit for cars. I don't know what's in the bank account, but I know there's a lot. And yeah, it's, he doesn't look like he's rich. Yeah. I think he purposely tries to hide it, actually. Like, he doesn't, he's quiet about it.
Yeah.
It's funny. So yeah, just kind of like wrapping up on that. Like I said, I didn't want to take it too far down a tangent, but one of the things that I wanted to talk about actually was just dealing with criticism, right? And like we've talked about earlier, just within this episode, putting things out there, even if it doesn't look that great, just getting the work in and just doing it.
Yeah.
And I won't go too far down this road, but I had something kind of come up recently where there may have actually, I thought people might have been on my side, right? Because if someone doesn't like something I'm doing, that's fine. Like, hey, I don't like that. I'm not interested. But these were people that I thought were like pretty good people, and they were saying some really, really, really nasty things for like completely unwarranted, right? And thankfully, there's like a few things that kind of pop in my head, and like one of those is, if you never want to be criticized, don't ever do anything different. Mm-hmm. That was something I heard a while back. I really, really enjoyed that. And then just as far as one of my favorite sayings too is like, hate always comes from below. Mm-hmm. Hate always comes from below. And this one is huge for me, which is, upon receiving criticism, ask yourself if you trade places with that person. And I've yet to want to trade places with those people. Yeah. So I thought it was a topic, because I think that some people may not want to put themselves out there due to the fear of criticism. And then this was just kind of just an interesting situation. It just makes me want to keep doing more of it. Makes me want to just keep grinding away, man. That's what it does. So have you received anything like that since you took a little bit of a different route than the traditional person?
You know, maybe slight criticism from like family or close friends, mm-hmm. like, what are you doing? Or why are you thinking that way? Because I think out of the box, like I do not think normal. No, like
we can't.
I just don't like, and no, I don't think like direct criticism like you just experienced, but like in general, yeah, people judge, right? Like all the time.
Yeah.
Even like people very close to you. I just don't care anymore. And the reason I don't care is because I do think I think differently. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times in a weird, messed up way, like me and you are talking right now, and I probably sound not to like be, I don't want to be egotistical here.
No,
but
you're good. You're good, dude.
I'm articulating things all right on this podcast, right?
Yes.
I cannot articulate for shit. If you ask me about like something I'm thinking or I just heard, if I try to reiterate something that I listened to or learned, I can't articulate it. Mm-hmm. It's a weird thing I got in my brain. And I think a lot of the decisions I make come from things that I hear that I can't necessarily explain why I'm doing the things I'm doing. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah. Do you have trouble directly articulating what something that was just taught to you? However,
yes.
You can articulate your experience with it.
Like my real estate, like I got it down. Mm-hmm. I got it. I can articulate that. Right. Yeah. But if you get into like the intricacies of real estate and like how depreciation works, and dude, I'm not going to explain that to you. I just know that my accountant told me to do it. Yeah. Right. And that's what you're supposed to do. And I've researched it and I understand why I've made the decision to do it, but I can't really explain it 100% of why I'm doing it and how I break it down, the reasons that I'm doing it. I just know it's the right decision for me. So like people judge me for some decisions. And I've specifically, when you're talking about criticisms, like people look at me for decisions I've made in the past. People who know me well. And I don't think they're fully on board with what I'm doing because I can't explain it. Mm-hmm. And I don't need to explain it to them is what it really comes down to. Because it's my decision. So that's where I think criticism comes in for me anyway. But it's very, they're good friends. They're close people. They love me. Yeah. So it's not like the type of criticism I take to heart. It's just like, that's cool. Whatever, dude. Yeah. We're best buds or however you want to look at it, Well,
in regards to something you just said too, and I'll kind of just come back to the reason I brought this up is there's this saying I heard this a little while ago and I really, really liked it, which is something along the lines of, this isn't verbatim, but those that perform do, and those that can't teach.
Right?
It's something like that. Mm-hmm. It's not exactly it, but I know what you're saying.
I get the gist.
Yeah. It's like, hey, like maybe I can't explain it exactly why this works this way, but I can do it.
Yeah.
I get it done. It's been working. It's been working pretty well for me. So, but yeah, it's that's kind of what came to mind when you said that. And I also have trouble sometimes breaking it down, but it makes sense in my own head.
Well, like I get, here's a good example. Ask me about any one of my properties that I own. I'll tell you how much money it makes. Ask me to put it onto an accounting spreadsheet.
Yeah. Goodbye, Excel.
Yeah. I don't like dude, someone else does that. Yeah. Like, I don't know how to explain that. I didn't do well in accounting in college. I didn't even pay attention actually, because it bored me. Like I should have. Accounting's super important for your business. Like one of the main aspects of your business that you should be paying attention. And actually a lot of business guys or women that I know, they're very good at accounting. Mm-hmm. I'm bad at it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't want to. I want to know how my property operates. And then I want to see a number at the end of the month from somebody who types it into a computer.
Yeah.
Like that's how my brain works.
Yeah. But
I don't get into the intricacies of all that stuff.
Yeah. You don't need to.
I don't need to. I mean, like, who's that dude? Andrew Carnegie? Is that Steele? See the Steele dude? I don't know. I'm messing somebody up.
I don't know.
It's delegation. Find who can do it for you, right? And then delegate it, like, and know your strengths and weaknesses. I think that's what you really need to understand about yourself.
So when I used to work in the financial industry, and I worked with financial advisors, right? And I would be amongst my peers, my coworkers, and they would get so frustrated with these financial guys because the guys would call in, they wouldn't know the documents, they wouldn't know certain thing, like some of them didn't know that much, right? And they get so frustrated, like they should know this, this is their job. And I know a very, very successful financial advisor. I'm like, it's not their job. It's not. A lot of them don't, they just sell.
Yep.
Like, and I said, I know this guy, and I would tell them, like, I know this guy, he doesn't know the numbers or anything. He brings someone along to the meetings to run the numbers while he's talking. You're like, well, that doesn't make sense. What the person running the numbers should sell? I'm like, no, because if the person running the numbers was up talking to them, they wouldn't be selling. The sale wouldn't happen because they can't talk. They can't deliver. They can deliver the numbers, but they can't deliver the product and the presentation the same way.
Right.
So, and it would be frustrating for them. Like, well, why do they make so much money? I'm like, that's what they're good at. They know how to sell.
Yeah, dude. I sat down with someone today at coffee this morning, and he's sitting on his computer when I walk in, and he's doing stuff. So I sit down, like, how's it going? It was the second time meeting him. So, nice seeing you again. What are you doing? Oh, man, I'm doing all this bullshit, like admin. I hate this stuff. And I was like, I feel you, man. Is that real estate transactions? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you got to outsource that, man. Like, because, and he's a driver, right? He wants to go get business. He wants to shake hands and do the dancing and do all that stuff. And then he wants to outsource it. Like, once the deal, here's the offer, go input it, do all the paperwork, do all that stuff. That's not the way that like productive people want to do their business. They don't want to sit in front of a computer and do paperwork.
No,
they're way too impatient for that. They want to go get more. They're not in like a bad way, but they're a bigger picture thinker.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that's important. And I used to love doing the organizational side of things until I realized I had a control problem. And the minute I learned how to let go of that control problem, I was like, wow, people do this way better than I was doing it. Like, people that actually want to do it.
Yep.
And don't mind doing it. Because I was doing it and I didn't like doing it. I just had a control problem. So I felt like I had to do it.
Mm-hmm. So at the same time, you got a property manager?
I don't know. But property management just got way too overwhelming for me.
No, I'm sure that was later down the line. It's just funny.
And tenants didn't work with me. So.
It's funny, man.
You're rich.
Yeah, that's how they
that guy's got so much. It's like, dude, do you know how much money I spend on this building every year?
Yeah.
Like, you have no idea.
Yeah, they don't get it. They don't
landlords have empathy, tenants have empathy. Let's do a little give and take.
Yeah.
Let's not be so judgy on each side, because there's a huge give and take. Mm-hmm. So there's a certain responsibilities of landlords and there's certain responsibilities of tenants, and you got to work together. It's about, creating an environment that works for both sides. And at the end of the day, it's really expensive being a landlord. It really is.
I didn't think about the relationship between tenant and landlord.
I loved a lot of my tenants, but like, there were certain tenants that looked at me like I had a ton of money.
Yeah.
And I don't. Like, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, hey, take care of this. Well, that's going to cost me $2,000. All right, we'll do it. It's like, what do you mean? Like, just because you feel like it's necessary to do that, you want me to go write a check for $2,000. What else would you like?
They just, because they just don't get it, dude.
Don't get it.
It's a disconnect. I mean,
yeah.
And a lot of people, not always, man, of course, this isn't to generalize anyone, but a lot of people that are renting, they're short-term thinkers. They're already kind of thinking.
We just had 50% of our viewers just went out the door, Devin.
We're just trying to get you to buy and sell.
This is real life, no bullshit talk. You don't like it? Turn the channel. Eh?
Short-term thinking. Short-term thinking.
Oh, and don't forget to like or subscribe.
We can cut that out, John. No, we're give me a call. I'll get you into property.
No, it's the truth, though. I mean, if you don't like what you're hearing, too bad. Like, that's the way I conduct my life. So if you don't like me for something, I'm going to say, like, sorry.
Yeah, it's not meant to be insulting.
I'm always open-minded with people. Like, I'm always open-minded. I just might not like what you're saying, and that's okay. That doesn't make me like you more or less. It just makes me not agree with you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And,
sometimes it makes you not get along, but it is what it is.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I mean, we're in the real estate industry, so this is where our head goes. That's the reason we're doing what we're doing. But really, because we've gone on.
What time is it here?
I don't know. We're like 10 tangents past late.
Cool.
6:15.
Let's go into fitness, man, to wrap this thing up.
Oh, I just want to wrap up the thing I was saying. Is really, because I obviously don't want to say too much, But
the criticism.
yeah, it was just interesting to see that some people watch out for it. Like, I'm saying this to the viewers, like, watch out for this. Some people legitimately just want to watch you fail.
Yeah.
I knew that, but then when, like, you can know something and then you get the reminder or you get it thrown in your face.
Yep.
Some people just don't want to see you succeed. They just don't. And I don't get that, because I legitimately want to see people succeed.
That's something wrong with their head, man.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. It's nothing to do with me. I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, but you go ask almost anyone, they don't really have much. They don't have really much bad to say. If they have something bad to say, there's no like backing as to why. So some people just want to watch. Some people just want to watch you fail.
Yep.
And that just makes me want to succeed more. So thank you.
Boom. How you like those apples?
And
but that just fuels you, dude.
It does.
Yeah. When people don't want, like, and there's a lot of hating going on. There really is. But it really does. If you're thinking, and that's a Gary Vaynerchuk, deal. Like, he's always preaching about that, about haters and empathy and all that stuff. But when people think like that, like, that's something that they need to fix. That has nothing to do with you.
No.
And there's way too much arguing going on in social media and comments and YouTube and all this stuff. Cut it out. Like, it's just pathetic.
Yeah.
Like, what you see now, like, dude, forums and stuff, it's crazy. Like, I don't even go on them anymore, because a question turns into this awful debate and pointing fingers and just some really nasty shit. And it's disgusting, like, what's going on these days. I can't believe, like, people are that judgmental, and that's what you're talking about, dude. It's hate. And that is when you're thinking that way and you want to argue with people that much, like, it's you.
100%.
So understand that and fix that shit.
Bro, I just want to see people do good. I really freaking do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see people do good. And quite frankly, if I don't like something, I just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because I have, dude, you know how much energy it takes to hate? If you have a lot of time to hate, you're a loser.
Yeah.
Because you obviously have too much time on your hands.
Yeah. They call them internet trolls. Like,
trolls, whatever.
Trolls, and it's like, scroll. What are they doing? Fuck him.
Well, I heard this. This. It's funny. So, like, your guy, Gary V, or like Michael Jordan, or just someone who's hyper successful like that. Do you think they're up late at night, like, reading the comments on YouTube about that?
What are these people doing?
Yeah, they don't have time.
Yeah.
They don't have.
That's the truth, dude.
They literally do not have.
Start watching successful people on social media. And if you watch successful people, you'll see how little they actually interact on social. They'll post a bunch of content because they have a strategy and, like, a plan to get on social media, but they're not in the intricacies of all these comments and this and that. And if you're truly that busy and successful, you're not on there that much doing that stuff.
No,
because you're successful.
Yes,
it's something actually I've been trying to work on, because I am commenting, because I like to comment on friends and likes and be supportive and stuff like that. But I'm scrolling too much, and that's something I've been aware of and been like, no, you got to get off. Facebook more. Like, you could have been reading a book the last 15 minutes. You could have just got some really good personal development stuff. Instead, you're looking at this or that or the other thing. And it's not healthy to be on social media that much.
Well, I think it's important what you just said too, though, especially like where I'm at. It is very important to be going through and making sure to take up those networking opportunities. I'm very interactive with the people that do support me.
Yeah.
Right.
Friends.
Yeah. The people who are actively commenting and all that, and making sure to support other people. But yeah, it gets to the point where, if you have a following of a couple 100,000 people, dude, you don't have a couple 100,000, couple million, whatever. Time.
You can't comment on all that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's hard.
No.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, I wanted to separate the difference. Because like right now, so I'll use myself as an example where I'm at. Yes, it's very, very important for me to do that, because I feel like it is. I think you would agree.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
me as well.
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying I comment still.
Yeah,
I'm not uber successful like the rest of those people. Like, I have the time to be commenting. And I like to comment. I like to support local businesses and stuff. Exactly. So it's good to share people's stuff. And so I do that.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
Exactly, man. So let's wrap it up. We were talking about, I think it was on the last episode or the one previous. I was talking about.
Can I jump quick into something?
Yeah.
And you're going right back. But for viewers, we're kind of getting a rhythm on the schedule of our podcast, I think, in terms of our, it's like real estate talk, some real life talk. We kind of start ending with fitness. But what I want to throw in here is if you're listening to this podcast and you're not working out, we're trying to gear it more toward, I think, what our viewers are going to be, at least initially. And that's more of beginner type real estate, personal development. Hopefully we get maybe some gurus that start watching. I don't know. But anyway, to make this point, Devin's very advanced with his fitness. I have a background in personal training, but I'm a little washed up. But we're trying to gear it toward the beginner type mindset of fitness. So the reason I want to say this is because personal development, mindset, body, health, that is so important to your career as an agent or any business type of person you are. If your mindset's not right, if your fitness is not on point, or at least, doing something to stay healthy, eventually it's going to catch up to you. So I wanted to just make that as an intro before we kind of get into the fitness part of the podcast, because we want to make sure it doesn't matter if you're brand new to fitness or if you're advanced at fitness. We're going to try to gear it toward everybody to just give some good tips on how to be thinking about fitness in general. So with that, sorry for the
no, you're good,
the tangent there.
No, you're good. I actually appreciate the introduction. So anyone who's not already in the fitness space, because this is like the trifecta, right? Which is life, finances, or career, whatever, and the fitness aspect, right? I mean, all ends up coming into mindset, and something that John and I are passionate about. So that's why we also throw on this fitness thing. And then the people who aren't already within the fitness space, that's why we're also going to be gearing it, as he said, and kind of making it user friendly or introductory friendly. So on the last couple podcasts, it might have been the last one or the one before, it doesn't really matter. We were talking about how I've been working on my injuries, and then John was talking about how he was working out his stuff, working out his issues. And dude, I'm just slapping on the weight to the deadlift bar.
I saw that picture. It was a video.
Yeah,
it was a video. Yeah.
I got a pretty cool picture too. I look like I'm going to explode. I brightened it up so you could see everything. But yeah, I mean, I remember it's like 3 months ago, probably 3 months ago, I couldn't even deadlift 315 pounds just because
you advanced that much.
Well, because the strength was already there, But
because the injury.
Yeah, the strength was there, but then I had to get the injury kind of fixed and then be able to build it back up. But just to put this in perspective, when I had really injured my back, the most I had ever pulled was 400. And yeah, I mean, I've gone from 315 to 515 pounds in like 3 months. I feel like something's going to explode. But
I gave you too much credit, and I thought there was like 545 on that bar that I saw. Wasn't there 6 plates?
No, there's 5 and a 10.
Okay.
5 and a 10, 5 and a 10. But next week,
either way, that's monster stuff, dude.
It feels so good, dude. I was in California and I was pulling it outside. It felt real good. It's like, this is what California's about.
Nice.
So anyways, I'm going to be going for 545 next week now that I'm recovered. And let's see what I can pull. So
for injury wise,
yeah.
Cause sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. That was kind of.
No, I think we're going to go toward the injury part of things, right? So I see so many dudes at the gym with the most awful form that you would ever imagine.
I know.
And like you look at them, because I know form, and you're like, wow, you're going to be injured in 6 months, like tops, right? And then all of a sudden, and I've seen this happen multiple times when I've been, a personal trainer. You have these dudes that are getting big, right? Quick. And that's great. And then all of a sudden they'll be like, yeah, dude. And then one day my shoulder just popped. And it's like, your shoulder didn't just pop one day. That's you've been wearing on that thing for the last 4 months.
Yeah.
Right. Or back
Elbows
or
flared up
like whatever you could say for different muscle groups. Right.
Yeah.
So how important is it to like train the right way and not put on weight? Like your form is your most essential thing to get down before you increase your weight. Do you agree? And you can totally disagree too. Why don't you touch on that? Because I've learned that, like I've, degressed. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Down because I had to. Like I've had people tell me like your form's bad. And that's how I learned, even through personal training. There's certain things that you're doing that you don't even notice, and someone else has to see it in order to tell you that.
So the only reason I got so vigilant with my form is because if it wasn't damn near perfect, it hurt. So that's why I was forced into it. So I got really overzealous, and for good reason. I made a lot of life changes. I started training, had a lot of aggression, have that intense, passionate personality.
You need yoga.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more calm now. I'm a little bit more chilled out now. But at that time, it was like full effect, And so I started training, and I'm just trying to push it through, doing things incorrectly. I didn't realize that when you get injured, it doesn't just go away. I thought you might get injured and then like you're kind of banged up for a couple months, and it goes, like, sometimes it never goes away.
Yeah.
So with the form is the reason I've been able to progress so quickly since I got the form. I've started working on my form, and I got my injuries kind of figured out. Is because when you're actually injured and there's a pain, your body is shutting down your ability to actually overload and press or squat or pull, whatever you're doing, because there's pain there.
Mm-hmm.
So that signaling is preventing your body from actually really doing what it is capable of doing. So it hindered my progress so much. And you're basically can be in the gym spinning your wheels if you have an injury.
Yeah.
So my point is, forget it. Just avoid the freaking injury. Avoid the freaking injury. And I'm not saying train like a pansy. If you want to train like a pansy, that's fine. I won't judge you. But
but I will. No.
I'll judge someone with bad form over pansy training before anything.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the bad form. I've actually went up to young kids who come in, and they might have they might be benching the bar and like a 10 on each side or like a 20, but they're really working on their form.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, good work.
Yeah. But then slow and do it. That's totally true.
I'd rather see that.
Yeah.
I'd much rather see that than the kid who's like benching, like dropping it. Like, oh, that hurts just for me to do that. Yeah. They'll have their elbows flared like this, and they're just dropping it. Please don't do that. You're going to make God cry.
Well, yeah. And if you do have injuries, like take the time to get them better, right? And then figure out why it was an injury, as opposed to like, oh, I had an injury and it took 2 weeks and now it feels better, so now I'm just going to go do the exact same thing I just did.
Yeah.
Like figure out like when your body's, and I have several, right, that I like deal with, but they're very minor, but I'm aware of them now and I work on them. So it's like muscle imbalances and all these different things. And if you don't know how to correct it, like research it on YouTube, go see a PT, like get multiple things. Like if you want to be in the workout game long term, then you need to figure out what's going on with your body, else it's going to break down at some point. So work on it. And it's okay to like literally you can take 10 minutes before your gym session and stretch out or work on dynamic exercises or different mobility type exercises in order to get you where you need to be before your workout, and work on those things. And then drop some weight, work on some good form, and then build it back up. Because as you do, you're going to build it back up way better, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's the mindset, and we all have. I had PT today. I go to see my PT every month, not because I need to. Well, he might disagree, but because it makes me feel better, and we work on muscle imbalances and muscle tightness and progressing me, right? And I'm not trying to push at my age. Like I've kind of come to terms with that, but like that's why I go see him. I don't need to, right? So go see people and get the advice you need, and then go work on it on your own, because then you can build it up and progress the right way.
Well, and I'll say, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's my take, man.
I'll throw this on there too, and we'll wrap it up. everything you said is spot on. If the injuries are there, and that's the thing, you can work around the injuries. I mean, sometimes you need the time off, but you can work around it. You can get it corrected. It's not, unless it's something really actually crippling, it's not an excuse not to take care of yourself. I won't buy that, because I've been banged up and I still make it work.
Well, you can do different exercises too.
Exactly.
Like if you got a shoulder injury, like it doesn't mean you can't go lift biceps or like.
Yeah, well, some people just use it as an excuse not to get in the gym. But since it's for people, this may be for people who don't really go, or like they said, they have like a sore ankle or something. And that's why they haven't been to the gym in 4 years. It's not an excuse. So I wanted to throw that in there. And in regards to, just to wrap it up, this is really, really important. You're talking about building the form back up, and let's say the form is crap, building it back up, dropping the weight, and then building up off there. I will tell you, if your form is proper and you're doing it with finesse and you're actually activating what you're supposed to activate, you're going to build so much more muscle. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It does not. When you're just pushing weight just to push weight, you're utilizing your joints. You're just taking a beating on your joints. I mean, it's not. Believe me, it's just not building it the way that you want. When your form is correct, when your form is proper, and you are pushing it and you're pushing it properly, that is actually when you're going to be putting on muscle. And I can speak this from experience. It's the same reason that I used to be able to squat more weight, but my legs are twice the size that they were when I used to be able to squat twice as much. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, whatever.
Sorry.
Go.
No, I saw that picture of you with your back.
Yeah.
And you're like, check it out, my waist is gone, and I'm thinking in my head, friends don't let friends skip waist day. Because your back is so jacked.
Yeah, waist day. No oblique training. I like that picture.
So form, man, I guess that's the main thing to take out of that is get good form, man.
Yep. And injuries, if you have them, get them figured out. It's not an excuse to, unless you're like in a wheelchair or something.
Yep. We'll have to address the butt tuck, dude. You know the butt tuck on squats?
Oh, the wink?
Yeah. The wink.
Yeah.
The butt wink.
Yeah. When it winks down too much.
We'll have to do the butt wink at some point and address the squat and how, people squat wrong all the time. Terrible. I look at them. I'm like, ooh, that's bad on the knees. Ooh, that's bad on the back. Like,
knees are bowing in and out. Yeah. That's how I messed up my knees.
Yeah.
But it's not like it was overt, and we'll save this for another conversation.
Yeah.
It's just because I was pressing so hard and I'm pushing my body so far and the slightest bowing of my knees.
It's way more pressure than you think.
Exactly.
Yeah. On those knees. Yeah.
When there's 400 pounds on my back. Yeah. It's like, it's these little tiny tweaks, and some people can get away with it for a long time because they just genetically, their joints are.
I don't know what happened, dude. My knee just popped.
It's like, dude, I know what happened. Believe me. So, anyways,
cool.
Got anything more?
Wrap that up.
All right, awesome, great podcast. If anyone's still here listening, give us a like. If you could drop a subscribe, we'd greatly appreciate it. As said previously, you're just helping us eat, which I want to help you eat too. So return the favor. All right, Devin's out.
John's out. JMG.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.